Hey everyone, so I wanted to make a quick video looking at the sample essays, looking specifically at what is done well and what needs improvement for each essay. Hey everyone, I wanted to take a look at some sample essays, specifically what is done well and what needs to be improved. So I'm just gonna pop into one of these sample essays and take a look. Okay, so for this essay, the students sorted with a quote, a statistic, and a quote, all right, from one of their sources, which they cited in parentheses. They gave a little bit of background about the problem, specifically the problem being distracted driving. Kind of presented both sides and really explained their quotes. They ended with a thesis statement saying that adults and teenagers should use driver monitoring systems and prevent distracted driving devices because hands-free technology in cars affects a driver's performance. Prevent distracted driving devices can block a driver's notifications on a phone, and driver monitoring systems can detect if a driver is driving unsafely or is distracted. So their reasonings, they have arranged their paragraphs in that order. I will tell you that right now. So that's obviously what we want to do. For our purposes, your arrangement is a little different. You will have your introduction paragraph. You will have a paragraph acknowledging the other side and how they feel. You will present your argument, how you feel, in the third paragraph. And then the fourth paragraph will be the conclusion. So some other things that I'm looking at, they start with the topic sentence and they use a transition word. That's good. They go through and they give information, their research. So according to David Strayer, a University of Utah professor, quoted in Faye Siddiqui's article, you've shifted your attention to interacting with the device. You stop scanning. You don't anticipate hazards. You don't notice things that are in your way. And then they have Siddiqui, page 1. Okay, yes, we want the author's last name there, but we don't need page in there. So we would want to delete that so it just looks like this in parentheses right now. They go on, they explain why this is important, okay? It could probably use some more explanation, just looking at what is written there. But attempt to explain it, okay? Because if you don't, you will lose major points. They move on to their second paragraph. They have, again, a transition word. They're referring to a website here, which is fine, but there's an author listed, and they've also listed the beginning of the article name. So that would probably be better to use in your introduction of the source than giving this really long website. Okay, so according to Wallace's article, Can Technology, whatever the rest of the title is, that would be a better introduction. And then because we have an author's last name, remember, we don't need to have the title in there. So you can delete that, delete the comma, and put in the page number, whatever that would be. Okay, so those are just some things that I'm noticing as I'm looking here through the paper. So we have our conclusion. Our works cited is not done correctly. So first of all, this should be at the very top of the page, and it should be works with an S. Okay, our first source is listed here. We want to make sure that it's all in alphabetical order, but we want to make sure that, again, for our second line, the second line is what is indented, not the first one. So for this Elizabeth Dowskin, that needs to be brought over. The second line needs to be a hanging indent, so it looks like that. Okay, what you're seeing here. And so those all would need to be fixed on this essay. All right, let's take a look at another example. All right, so this is the same paper, just a sort of different version of it. So again, we have our fact at the top of the page. We don't have in this one transition word, so that's not so great. We want that. We also have listed here a research or quote, but the quote is not introduced and it's not cited. So you need to have something before your quote that would say, like, according to, whoops. Okay, so I'm just making this up. I don't know if this is correct, but right now, for our example purposes, according to Auden Smith, you've shifted your attention to interacting with the device, you stop scanning, you don't anticipate hazards, you don't notice things that are in your way. Then we need to put our end citation here. It's like a little sandwich. So we would put Smith, and I'm just putting in page 1. Okay, notice the period goes outside the parentheses there. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are citing your stuff. Okay, and then I'm just kind of scrolling down. Again, remember that if you don't have the author's last name, so here we have the article written by 2 people, Dowskin and Ramsey, but they cited car in parentheses. The only time we would use the first word of the title of the article is if we don't have an author's last name. Okay, so this should actually say Dowskin Okay, and then that's all we need because our citation on our works cited has both Dowskin and Ramsey listed. All right. And then this person put their works cited page on the same page as their document, as their paper. That is not okay. I know you're probably thinking, Ms. McComb, they're trying to save paper. No, this needs to be on a separate sheet of paper. Okay, so don't try to save paper that way because it's still on another sheet of paper. All right, we want it all on that one. It's a separate page all to its own. Let's look at one more example. Okay, so what I notice about this one as I'm looking through, this one has extra spaces. We don't want that. We don't need those extra spaces. I know some people do that to try to make their paper longer. Then they're done that. I want your paper to look like this with the spacing. It is double spaced. It is in Arial or Times size 12. All right. Again, extra spaces. We want to get rid of those. And then again, this person has extra spaces not only at the beginning of their works cited, but they put it as work cited and they put it in quotation marks. No, we want it to say work cited without the quotation mark, and it is works plural because it's more than one article that you have found. Okay, so we want to make sure that it looks like this, that it is in alphabetical order, and we have the hanging indent, so that is lovely. That is what we want. Okay, I do have one more. I know I said this was the last one, but I have one more example I want to show you that is what I'm looking for. All right. Okay, so this is more what I'm looking for. Again, it's the same paper. Anytime you see like little squiggles, you want to make sure that you have double checked the spelling of that because it's telling you that the spelling is incorrect. Notice it is double spaced. It is in Arial. Okay, my citations that are in parentheses have the author's last name and page number. The citations that are in my paper match what is on my Works Cited page. Okay, so nothing is random. I've double checked my spelling. I have transition words. I have information, citations in all of my paragraphs, all of my body paragraphs. And if I use it in the conclusion, it's not new information. And my Works Cited page is a separate sheet. It is arranged alphabetically with the hanging indent. And again, all of them that are on here were used in my paper. Okay, if you have questions, please, please, please let me know. Good luck, everyone.